Okay, so as I said, I'm gonna break this down in different videos about my experience, but this is how it started. I was in a relationship, and the relationship wasn't going on the pace that I wanted, but I kept my mouth shut and I kept it going, and I was happy at the time. We had a Kundalini awakening on August 1st. That was the day that we had a full moon in Leo and a meteor shower. If you don't know what a Kundalini awakening is, I suggest that you look it up. But I made a wish on the star that night, and I made a wish that my dreams come true and our relationship can turn out the way I want it to be. So that was the first night. And then a week later, August 8th, it was another astrological event, the Lionsgate portal. I looked it up, and it was when the veil between heaven and earth is thinner, and we are able to make our manifestations stronger and they come to us faster. So on that night, I manifested the qualities of Leo. That is my moon sign, and I'm a typical Aquarius. I don't have a lot of Leo qualities. They're hidden inside of me, but I wanted to manifest those qualities, which are strength, courage, confidence, and I manifested those qualities. And we were sitting in the backyard. I felt like a disconnection from him, like a physical level disconnection. And I don't know how to explain. I just had this reaction, this physical reaction. I started crying, and then my body turned into water. My whole body, it was a mixing of the senses. This blue aura came out of my body, which later on I figured out it was a throat chakra blockage because I wasn't saying what I needed. So I kept going, for the sake of the relationship, but there's a lot of things that I wanted and I wasn't talking about it. So I started crying, and then we went on to have a discussion about it. And during that discussion, I had a vision that we were Adam and Eve in paradise. I could see it clearly. And the sky that was clear turned into stormy and cloudy, and everything changed. Like the mood changed for the night, and I couldn't explain what was happening. And I was still heavy with all those tears. I felt like the whole world's tears and heartbreak were coursing through my body. It was clearly overreaction to what was happening at the moment, but there's a lot bigger meaning than that. So in that moment that we were Adam and Eve, I felt so heavy, so heavy. I'm only like 85 pounds, but I was sitting in a chair and the chair broke with me on it. We could not explain what was happening. But okay, that was weird. But it was more weird what happened later. So we went inside to watch a movie, and I could not understand one word of the movie. The movie was in English, and I speak English and Portuguese, but it was a total different language that I could not understand. So I didn't know what was happening. I asked him, "Do you understand the movie?" And he's like, "Yes, I do." And I was like, "That's not English." And he's like, "Yes, it is." But for me, it wasn't. So that was a scary moment. I'm like, what is happening with me? So anyway, we were disconnected at that point, and I came home, and that was 5 days later, I had this wave of regret. I'm like, I don't know what I did wrong, where I went wrong. Please, God, I started praying. I started talking to the universe. Please, God, help me with this. I don't know what's happening with me. I just want to cut cords with whatever evil spirits or the devil or whatever, how you want to call it. I just want to get that out of my body. So I asked for, please remove this from my body. So when that happened, I activated my third eye, something I'd never done before. I never tried, never read a book about it, but it was spontaneous third eye activation. And that is not hogwash. If you talk about spirituality with spiritual people, they know exactly what I'm talking about. But I haven't been spiritual up to this point. I've been to church, but never had an experience like this. So third eye opened up, and I could see this big eye in front of me that was red and blue, purplish. And so I was outside in my backyard, and I'm looking up at the sky. I'm like, is this God? I could not feel anything close to this before. So I'm like, is this God that I'm talking to? Like, I could start hearing voices in my head. I kept getting these downloads, how they call it, downloads. But I had this voice in my head that was like, I would ask questions out loud and I would get the answers automatically. I didn't know what was happening. But anyway, I took advantage of this moment, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna ask all those questions, that I always wanted to ask. So I'm like, can you please, first I want a proof. So can you please show me proof? What is this? Can I see any proof in the sky? And I'm looking at the sky, and it was a night sky. And all of a sudden, a rainbow appears, a rainbow, but it wasn't a full rainbow. It was just part of a rainbow. It was 3 colors. It looked like a little square in the sky. It showed up, and it was up there for not even like 30 seconds, but it was enough to freak me out. And I was like, wow, this is really happening. And I'm awake. I'm not dreaming. I'm not sleepwalking. I'm awake. I never felt so alive in my life. So I kept looking at it. I'm like, wow, can I actually see heaven? I'm like, since I'm seeing something, I'm going to ask for something else, right? So can I see heaven? And then I'm looking up at the moon. It was a full moon. And all of a sudden, the clouds around the moon opened up, and I thought I was going to see heaven. What I saw was the cosmos, like the planets, everything behind. And I was like, whoa, what does that mean? Later on, I'm going to go through this, what that meant. But it was amazing. It was incredible. So I was like, okay, I'm here. I have this dream that I'm going to dance with Jesus. I'm going to dance with God. I put on a song that I love. It's called I Can Only Imagine. So I put the song on my phone, and I'm like, can I dance with you? I'm going to dance with Jesus tonight. So there's a part of the song that says, surrounded by your glory, what will my heart feel? Will I dance for you, Jesus, or in all of you be still? Will I stand in your presence, or to my knees will I fall? And during that part, to my knees will I fall, my knee buckled, and I could not dance anymore. So I was brought to the ground, slowly, gently, like somebody's putting a baby in a crib. I was brought to the ground, and I was very aware of what was happening at that time. It was so powerful. I just started crying, and I stayed on my knees, and I was like, I am in the presence of the divine right now. This is a defining moment in my life. I'm awake. It was amazing. So later on, I started having more and more experiences like this with these downloads that were coming to me. It was like my whole life was happening right in front of me, from birth to this point. Like it was like a whole rebirth. Like I went through a life review in matter of songs, of messages, of numbers that I was getting, things that happened in my life, like since I was a kid, how I got to this point, every choice that I made and how affected where I'm at right now. And that gave me a great perspective of who I am, and what I'm here to do. So this is pretty intense. And that's why I'm going to make a lot of different videos about it, because I found out my life purpose. It's been 3 months since that happened. And during this time, I made a lot of changes to my life. I quit my job on the spot. One day I woke up and I was like, oh, this job is fine. I love my job. I've been there for 5 years. I'm great at what I do. I'll never quit this job. That morning, I was fine. In the middle of the day, I quit. It was just a message that I got. Patricia, you're not supposed to be here. You're not supposed to work for big corporations. That's not who you are, You're supposed to help others. And this is your mission. That's what you're supposed to do. And that was very clear. I got a lot of clarity on my purpose. So I quit my job. I quit smoking. I started developing deeper relationships with the people around me, and also cutting off relationships that were not taking me to where I was supposed to be. I had problems with people that could not understand what I was going through. A lot of people told me I was crazy. A lot of people could not understand, but they were supportive. And these are the moments that you actually need to be very aware of who you are and the truth, because there's not my truth or your truth. There's only the truth, of what happened. And this is what happened to me. So I'm here to share with you every step of the way, because I'm so excited about this journey and finding other people that are going through the same thing. And that's why I put in my profile Rainbow Gang. So if you had a spiritual experience and you saw the rainbow like I did, please get in touch with me and let's see what this is all about. Thank you so much for listening to the first part. Second part will come out soon.